Welcome to a new episode of Riks Europe. My name is Peter Kleppe, and today we're going to discuss the upcoming Eurovision Song Festival in Malmoe, Sweden. And I'm very happy to have with me as my guest an expert from Riks Sweden, Elias Norgren. Welcome, Elias.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
I've read that the police operation that is needed to secure the Eurovision Song Festival in Sweden is the biggest in the history of Malmö. I mean, that's quite something. Could you give some more detail on that?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's the biggest security operation, the biggest security apparatus ever employed in the name of the Eurovision Song Contest ever. And that's mostly because of the key reason here is because the participation of Israel in the Eurovision Song Contest. And this is something that has caused a lot of ire with many left-leaning groups, also many Muslim groups who believe that the war in Palestine is a cause for boycotting Israel and not letting them participate in the contest. Now, the commission behind the Eurovision Song Contest decided that Israel should be allowed to participate anyway. Now, I wouldn't actually call this the actual main problem, though, with whatever is going on in Malmö, because what we're seeing in Malmö is basically multiculturalism taking its toll on how society can operate normally. Normally, you would be able to have events like these, massive concerts and just massive events without this type of security needing to be involved. But what we have right now is a very largely Muslim-dominated city with a very large immigrant population that is infamously anti-Semitic, just on top of being Muslim and providing a very hostile environment for these types of events. So that's what's basically going on.
And to ask a bit more about that, so how much percentage of Malmö is Muslim or Muslims?
I think it's hard to draw a conclusion on the percentage of Muslims in Malmö, but we know that, for example, ethnic Swedes are a minority in Malmö. It's the only major city that actually has a minority of Swedes at this point. It's looking a lot like the situation in, for example, London, Birmingham. Many other European cities have fallen quite far down this demographic rabbit hole, but Malmö is the most infamous Swedish city for having done so.
And of course, I'm sure many of these Muslims are law-abiding and peaceful, and maybe don't even bother so much about all this. But is there a problem of, let's say, a hardcore of Islamists, basically Islam fascists, as I think it's better to describe them? I mean, is that a big problem? And how many people are we talking about, more or less?
Well, yeah, Islamism is a very recurring problem in Malmö. We've seen it infiltrating the various departments in the city. The institutions of the city have been almost occupied by these people with very hostile Islamist intentions, willing to Islamicize the city and Sweden at large. So I would say that this is a major problem that provides it leads to a number of different problems for the city of Malmö in how it operates, for example, the deep corruption that just runs into the welfare system, for example, with how Muslim organizations are siphoning money out of the welfare system to their own organizations, for example.
Like, how would you solve it realistically? Like, let's say if you have to name 3 measures that that could perfectly be implemented, I guess both by the Malmö local authorities and the Swedish police and justice system. So what would be, like, to say, the top 3 priorities to at least improve the situation?
Well, in the name of hosting the Eurovision Song Contest, I suppose that what you really need is what we're seeing right now, this massive, just impressive security apparatus with tons of police, snipers on rooftops, policemen being called in from other European countries in order to ensure the safety of the people of Malmö. That's probably what we need, and that's what we're getting when we have a multicultural city like this hosting a major international event with Israel involved. As for the problems that Malmoe and many other European cities are facing just in general, I suppose that remigration or the repatriation of many of these Muslim groups that don't fit into our society and don't want us to be able to live our lives the way we want to, for example, they should be repatronized to their home countries.
And has Sweden managed to at least, repatriate many of the people that are illegal? I guess that would be the very start, the obvious starting point if you want to, sort out the problems of mass migration. Has Sweden been successful because many other countries have not?
Well, no, Sweden is no exception really to this. Even though we do have a what you would call a right-wing populist government in power right now, there hasn't really been that much improvement on the migration issue. Sweden is still taking in hundreds of thousands of people yearly. We're still handing out tens of thousands of new citizenship yearly to people who we probably don't want ingrained in our society. No other country, not even Italy, which is also ruled by a right-wing populist government, has been able to actually stall just the waves of migrants that are coming towards us, and have not been able to expel, not even illegal immigrants, in any significant way. So there's a lot to be demanded from the government still regarding these issues, even in Sweden.
And what about taking citizenship? I guess if people have dual citizenship and if they commit crimes, in Belgium it's perfectly possible to take their citizenship. Of course, you need to be talking about a very serious crime. I mean, is that in Sweden possible as well, and has it been implemented already?
It's not possible right now. It's looking to be implemented. We're lagging behind many other European countries in this regard. However, I would say that the difference is not really that large, because even Belgium does also have massive problems with Muslim groups and other immigrant groups causing problems that have citizenships that could be revoked, perhaps, but they just aren't, because there's a lack of political will, I would say.
Mm. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Elias, and thank you for appearing on Riks Europe.
Thank you, Peter.